Hello, welcome friends, welcome to my channel, Milky Way of Stories. How are you guys? I hope you are well, and wherever you are, you will be happy. May Allah keep you happy and give you a long and healthy life. Never depend on anyone in your life. Lots of blessings. Please remember me in your prayers. Today, I am going to narrate 6 stories for you guys. Before starting the story, I would like to tell those who have not yet subscribed to my new channel to go and subscribe to it. I am going to upload very good stories in the coming days, so go and subscribe to it. So, let's move towards today's story. The first story is among those who have shared their stories with us. Let's listen to them in their own words. Hello, how are you? I hope you are well. Just a few days ago, I had an incident I want to share with you. It happened in the year 2017. My friend Saad and I were doing engineering. Our hostel was in Islamabad, in an area in front of Concerts University, Tata Bakhtawar. There is a hostel city there with many hostels. We were in our first semester, and we lived there. One day, our relations with our warden got spoiled. So we thought that today we would immediately change our hostel. There was a hostel at the end whose name I cannot mention. We went to that hostel and told them that we needed a room right away and had to shift. They informed us that all the rooms were booked because a whole semester was booked for 1 year, and the semester was not over yet. We requested, saying that we had all our luggage and we were helpless. The warden, a very good person, thought for a long time and then said he could only do one thing for us. He would shift us to the servant room on the terrace of the 4th floor. It was a very big room. He said we would be comfortable there, and if we did not want any interruption from seniors or other boys, we should not make any noise. He asked for some time to clean the room, and we agreed because we were desperate. After waiting for some time, I told my partner that I would go upstairs and see the room. I asked the servant who went upstairs with me why they did not stay in this room, as it seemed to have been closed for a long time. The servant said they had a lot of work and could not go up and down repeatedly, so they made the office below and slept there. Hence this room remained empty. I felt a little strange because there were a lot of cobwebs in the room, indicating it had not been used for a long time. The servant cleaned the room and spread the mattress, and Saad and I started living there. Since that room was on the 4th floor and there was no need for anyone to come and go, something happened. During those days, I used to recite the verses of the Quran, the Muslim holy book. Someone told me to read it openly, so I came out of the room and sat on the terrace under the open sky. When I used to recite a lot of verses, often mischief would come to my mind, and I used to tease Saad. One night, I was a simple person. We did tasbih and joked with each other. Then I lay down on my mattress against the wall. While talking, I do not know when we fell asleep. Some time must have passed when I heard the sound of the door opening and closing repeatedly. I woke up and felt someone was opening and closing the door, even though I remembered locking it before sleeping. The air pressure could never be so strong to open and close the door. This continued for about 6 minutes. After some time, the washroom door also started opening like this. At that moment, I did not even dare to remove the sheet from my mouth. The weather in March is better in Islamabad, so we used to sleep with a sheet covered. I was in a state of agony, unsure whether to remove the sheet or talk to Saad. Suddenly, Saad called me and softly asked if I was awake. I replied that I was. Then he held my hand and asked what was happening. I told him I did not understand. We were both scared, and neither could move nor pick up our mobile to check the time. For about half an hour, the door kept opening and closing. We then heard a very terrible sound from a creature similar to an eagle. We felt it was inside our room. We were fed up, feeling that the joke I used to make and the verses I recited had come true. I kept circling the verses, sweating and holding Saad's hand tightly, asking him to keep reciting. Eventually, when the Farazan, morning call to prayer, came, the sound started to subside and the door stopped opening and closing. I thanked God it was over. After the Far Namaz, when the warden woke up, I immediately went down and told him we could not stay in that room any longer. Initially, he made fun of it, thinking we were joking, but then he helped us again. When I returned to Multan after the holidays, I talked to the person who had told me the verses to recite. He calculated and told me that the place where I was reciting the verses was not right and God did a good deed by not letting the creature harm us. He said that the verses were very glorious and I had deviated from their purpose. There was the presence of GNAT, some of whom were fed up with my reciting and offering names. They calculated and said that the place was haunted, and I should thank God for saving us from a big loss. Thank you very much for sharing your story with us.
Let's move towards another story. Hello, brother, how are you? I hope you are fine. I am a big fan. My name is Ashak Nash Javid, and I belong to the city of Bakar. I am studying MBBS abroad. I like your story very much, and whenever I get time from studying, I keep listening. Sometimes I fall asleep while listening to your story, sometimes I feel scared. We are from Sahawal, but later we shifted to Bakar. When we moved here, we started our business. When we opened a private hospital, the place where we built it was a complete market. He was a very good friend of my father, so he gave it all to us. Where the hospital ended, our house started from there on the backside. There is a gallery there and all the warehouses, so we have installed doors there. Where the market ends, there are also doors that we have to close. This entire market has 3 gates, one enters from the street, then there is a gate on the backside of the gallery, and where the door starts, there is also a gate leaving 2 to 3 shops. At night, we had to close all 3 gates. The market, which is 1.5 canals, had a roof, and it was under us. So, we mostly go to the roof in the evening, and there is a room on the roof built at the end, which remains mostly closed. Sometimes we go to the roof. When we came here, it was a very small town. Initially, it was very lonely. Some issues started happening with us. As you say, some stay with you but do not harm you. Even now, it happens a lot, but we have become accustomed to it. When my younger brother was born, you know, these things are visible to children. One night, around noon, we were all sleeping when suddenly my mother's eyes opened. She saw that my younger brother was not there. At that time, he was walking on his knees. We asked where he could have gone. He might have gone under the bed or wandered here and there. We all started looking, and there was an uproar. I looked under the bed, went to the hospital, and checked every place. After crossing the backside gallery, there were stairs along with the door. I don't know how it came to my mind, but I climbed the stairs and went up. Let me tell you, there is another room there without a roof, and there is wood lying in it. I took a torch and went up. When I went there, there was no one, although I was not sure how a child could climb up and get inside. When I went inside the room and pointed the torch towards the wood, I saw something sitting inside. I went ahead and saw my younger brother sitting inside the wood. I quickly pulled him out. I was afraid to even go near at that time. I was not that big, I was 6 to 7 years old. I called my family, and they came. When they picked him up and took him away, we did some spiritual work. After that, the matter started again. Once, it felt like someone was running on the roof, someone was hitting with a hammer, and the backside was covered up. The walls are covered with bushes, etc. Let me tell you that I am from a Christian family. I gathered courage and ran up and climbed up. When I went up and looked, there was no one there. The door of the room at the end was always open, and it was strangely dark. Often, if I was walking in the dark, I would salute them and say, "I am sure you all are here, and if you people are living here, let us also live. I am not throwing you out. You have a place, and now we are also here. Let us also stay. We do not harm you, and you do not harm us." Once again, my father told me it was Easter, and around 1 o'clock in the night, we heard the sounds of many children crying from the place where our hospital started. When my father went and saw, there was no one. When the door of the house opened, my father was standing there. My father said that many children were going to die tomorrow. He started reading according to our religion, said prayers for a long time, and told the evil forces to go away from here. In this way, the matter was cleared. Even now, sometimes such things happen. Once, I was studying upstairs. My papers were there, and I was writing something. There were computers in the gallery between the hospital and the house. I was sitting there studying, and there was a lot of distance to the house. Suddenly, I heard the sound of something knocking. A little fear came into my heart, but I started reading in my heart and got engrossed in my study. After 5 minutes, I suddenly heard the sound of a cat. I felt as if it was sitting right next to me, very close to the desk. However, there was no place to sit there, and I did not dare to look. Without thinking, I crossed the table and reached the house. Thank God no major incident has happened till now. There are prayers in the house every day. Even today, we live there. This was one of my stories. I hope you like it, and you will share it on your channel. Now it's time for another story. I am from Karachi. My name is Afnan, and I am 18 years old. I wanted to share my small story with you. If you like it, please upload it on your channel. This incident happened 2 years ago when we had rented our house. One day, in Baldia town, I was alone at home. It was around 11 p.m. I was using my mobile when I heard a sound from the kitchen as if someone called my name. When I went there, I heard a noise from the kitchen. The lights were off, and there was no one there. I started using my mobile again. After some time, I heard the same sound. I started feeling scared. When I went to check again, I saw someone in a black dress sitting with their head down, washing utensils in the kitchen sink. Out of fear, I ran away to my uncle's house, which is about 10 to 15 minutes away from ours. When I got there, I started crying. Let me tell you that I did not pick up my mobile, nor did I turn off the fan or lock the gate. When my mother and I returned to my uncle's house, they asked me what had happened. I told them everything, and we decided to vacate the house. This is my story. I agree that it is very short, but every word is true. Let's move towards another story. How are you? Hope you are doing well. My name is Avesh, and I am a resident of Rawalpindi. Well, I belong to KP. I want to tell you about an incident that happened to me. The incident goes like this. There was a wedding of my uncle's son. All my family members, including my parents and sister, went to attend my cousin's wedding. When we went to the village, many other relatives had come there, and there was no place to sleep at night in the house. So, my cousin Daniel and I spread our beds and cots outside in the open and slept. Daniel is very friendly with me, and whenever I go to the village, he sleeps with me and roams around with me. My cousin had already fallen asleep, but I do not sleep early as I am used to sleeping late. While I was lying down, I suddenly started hearing the sounds of goats coming from a room. I called out to wake up my cousin, but he was sleeping deeply. I got up and started moving towards that room. The room was built very far away. As I was going there, I got such a strong feeling that I got goosebumps. Yet, I gathered courage and moved ahead. As soon as I opened the door of that room, I saw a strange creature with a red face, skin coming off its body, eyes bulging out, and large claws. It looked at me and then started eating a goat. Seeing this, my blood froze, and I didn't have enough courage to run away. I just fell unconscious. When I opened my eyes in the morning, I was on the bed, and my mother and all the other family members were standing near my head. They asked what I was doing there. I told them about the incident, and they also got scared. Whenever I go to the village again, I am not allowed to go out at night. This was my story before I went to sleep, and I hope you enjoyed listening to it. So, friends, I hope you liked today's stories. If you liked the stories, don't forget to like the video. If you are new to my channel, subscribe. I am continuously uploading stories. Take good care of yourself, and remember me in your prayers.